What's up guys? In the previous video, I went over how pro teams around the world could do a better job at utilizing vision in the early stages of the game. If you haven't seen that video, you should definitely go and check it out as I am carrying over points and concepts from it. This time, we will go over the middle stages of the game, which I define as the time range between 15 minutes to 30 minutes. During the mid-game, teams will want to prioritize vision around objectives such as dragons, heralds, barons, and turrets to gain advantages that will help them close out games. Just like my previous video on early game vision, we will look at 3 examples, one from the LEC, the LCS, and the LCK. Before I start my analysis, I want to first make clear that factors outside vision, such as the mechanical prowess of each individual player, the style the teams want to play, or the team composition drafted, will certainly affect the way teams set up vision, and I will try my best to keep these points in mind while addressing specifically the vision aspect of the game. I will one day make videos dedicated to these other points, but that's for another time. So let us begin. In this first example from the LEC, we'll be looking at a game between G2 Esports and Misfits Gaming. To start off, we want to first look at the current state of both teams. At 20 minutes, G2 is 3k gold behind, they have lost 2 dragons, and all of their top and bot side outer turrets are destroyed. If you notice the scoreline, Jankos' Gragas and Perks' Yasuo have the best KDAs, while Wonder's Sona and Caps' Aphelios are frankly starved in golden experience. Misfits did a great job completely shutting down Caps by repeatedly killing him in the early game. One thing to note, Sona is an interesting pick here, because unlike traditional bruiser top laners, she does not have to farm minions with the support item Spell Thief's Edge. Sona top is viable because she gets to harass the opposing top laner to get gold stacks on her support item. And once she has completed the quest to upgrade it to Frostfang, she can utilize her roaming potential from her Song of Celebrity skill, which gives bonus movement speed and the additional 3 wards from Frostfang to impact the rest of the map. So although it may appear as if Sona is quite behind the enemy set, the nature of how her pick works allows G2 to only have Caps' Aphelios be super behind. Just a reminder, this game was played on patch 10.3, but ever since patch 10.5 went online, support items have been obsolete from the top lane, since it prevented champions from getting gold stacks unless other allies are nearby. On the other hand, Misfits with the gold, turret, and dragon lead are in a good state where they can be the first to start objectives and force G2 to respond. Misfits are also sitting at a golden item advantage over their counterparts, so at this point, G2 are in a desperate situation where they have to play exceptionally well to make up for the item disadvantage. So in classic G2 fashion, they attempt a risky play on the top side to possibly pick off a few members of Misfits. And here's where I want to focus on. G2 have wards mainly around their own jungle and the Baron River. Misfits only have wards in G2's red side jungle and the Dragon River. G2 move up towards the top side using the Scryer's Bloom along with the Sweeper to check if Misfits have any vision around Baron and top. G2 see that Misfits have no vision, so the 3 members attempt to camp the top bush to pick someone off. If everything goes well, G2 will have killed 1 member immediately and have had to fight 4v4 with Sona teleporting to the rescue. Aphelios would be too far away once the fight ensues, but they are willing to take the risk anyways. If they win the teamfight, they can take Baron and hope to equalize the gold deficit. From Misfits' perspective, they try to clear out any vision G2 has around the river so they can start hitting the Baron. At this point, Misfits probably think that G2 are either nearby their own base or somewhere in their own jungle. Misfits would never suspect them to be at the topside bush. If you think about it, if G2 managed to pull out the sneaky ambush, it would be considered an almost genius manipulation of vision. And so without further ado, witness the power of the best team Europe has ever produced.
On Razor, but let's see if they go for this pick.
Oh, great! Featherstone gets him out. That was perfect
the fight, and G2, they thought they'd caught Misfits, but B-Boy with a split-second decision to pop his ult means that Misfits get to turn to the Baron, and this is what we were talking about, Vedius, the ability to keep that gold lead, to then snowball it, finding a fight like that, although it was on G2's terms, turning it around. Misfits now well in the lead in this game.
Damn, okay, jeez. Misfits kills Perks and Jankos, the two members of G2 that absolutely should not have died there. Now G2 are totally fucked. They need to pull off a miracle teamfight against a Misfits team that will continue to snowball after that fuck up at Baron. So what went wrong here? There was just one critical mistake G2 performed to essentially lose them the game. And that mistake was when Jankos' Gragas stepped out of the bush to throw his explosive cask at B-Boy Xayah. I don't know why he did it, cause if he threw his ultimate from the bush, Xayah would have needed inhumane reactions to see it coming from there and attempt to dodge it. If Jankos landed his ultimate, it would have perhaps guaranteed a follow-up from Perks' Yasuo, leading to a kill. Because he came out of the bush before he casted his ultimate, Xayah had enough time to see and react to the play. This also gave enough time for the rest of Misfits to collapse on G2, preventing them from executing what was possibly their only chance at coming back into this game. Don't get me wrong, attempting for the engage there by knowing where Misfits had vision was dangerous. Yes, but if it worked out, everyone would be praising G2 for how they play around available vision. So rather than a problem of bad vision, it came down to a mechanical misstep that if avoided, would have definitely given G2 better odds at winning the game. Alright, moving on to the next example from the LCS. We'll be taking a look at a game between TSM and Cloud9. Let's see what's in store for us. So at 15 minutes into the game, we see that Cloud9 has a 2.5k gold lead over TSM along with 2 dragons. This isn't a huge lead per se, but Cloud9 should feel a little bit more confident to be able to fight for objectives on the map. Let's fast forward 35 seconds here. Take a look at the minimap. What do you guys see? What I see is C9 taking their big dick out and showing the world why they are the best team in North America. How did C9 manage to get so much vision control in the river? Whatever the reasons may be, those wards will definitely help C9 secure the mountain dragon that is spawning in 2 minutes and have overall better control over the map. TSM are now in a scenario where they feel holed up, almost choked out of things by the suffocation created from Fog of War. TSM have very little vision almost anywhere, which makes it hard for them to know where Elise could be in this 1-2-1 formation. Meanwhile, Cloud9 would know exactly where Gragas is on the map with all the wards they have placed. Because of this, I can't help but feel that Darduck's Gragas was feeling pressure to do something on the map before Cloud9 could snowball their leads from their superior vision. So, he decides to hit bot lane to possibly kill Niski's Kiana with Bjorksen's Renekton. What he should have realized though is that Cloud9 had eyes in the river, which alerts Niski of Gragas coming to his lane. Thanks to that, the gank fails and Niski's Kiana actually gets a kill onto Dardoch by using his sweeper to check if TSM could see him at all. Dardoch dying there sets a chain reaction that will give Cloud9 incremental leads for the next 10 minutes. It begins with Blabber's Elise taking the Rift Herald. TSM cannot contest for it knowing Gragas won't make it in time and the rest of the team must recall to purchase items. So instead, TSM try to push towards the dragon that is spawning in a few seconds. But they make a series of crucial mistakes here. First, Akali was left behind to collect the mid lane. That instantly puts TSM in a 4v5 scenario, which at this point is a foolish and illogical decision because there is no way they will win without a member. Second is they don't establish proper vision behind the dragon pit. TSM uses all of their control wards on the river, but they do not know from where and from what angle Cloud9 will collapse on them. So you can see what happens next is Licorice gets a very easy flank onto Misfortune, and the rest of TSM is left without a DPS dealer. By the time Broken Blade's Akali makes it to the party, all of his friends are already dead. I really don't understand the logic behind this play. Why did Akali have to stay behind to collect the wave? Why didn't she come with them to fight 5v5 at the dragon? And if that wasn't a choice, why didn't they just give up the dragon? In any case, the snowball from Cloud9 continues. Cloud9 uses Rift Herald mid and break the outer turret. Now they are comfortably sitting at a 6k gold lead. I feel like this video is just me taking a big shit on TSM, but are we really gonna ignore the fact that they used all of their vision on the rep buff side of the jungle? Why do we have all of our wards there? What purpose does it give? Does it help TSM with contesting Baron? No, you can't even see the pit itself cause C9 placed a control ward there. And you certainly won't be able to move into the river either with no vision. The only thing that helps is it keeps TSM's top side of the map safe, but they certainly do not need all of those wards there. 1 or 2 will be enough and the rest can be placed evenly across the 3 lanes. This way, nobody gets caught out trying to farm the minions. You see, C9 is uninterested in accessing that area anyways. They are preparing to get their Dragon Soul coming at 1 minute and 30 seconds, or perhaps even start Baron. So C9 go into the blue side jungle of TSM to get some deep vision for the coming dragon. They realize that TSM has 0 wards around that area, and also Bjergsen's Renekton is blindly taking CS. So what does C9 do? They collapse on poor Berg, they set up all the necessary vision around Dragon, and when the dragon spawns, they are there first and in a comfortable position to place even more wards. Yeah, TSM must feel real stupid having all of their wards in the top side of the map now. And now the game is officially over. No, seriously, TSM stood no chance after that. We didn't even get to see the late game, it ended at 27 minutes. This game was a perfect example of one team completely dominating the vision game to snowball out of control. And now we're gonna move on to our final example. Okay, we are at our final example of the day from the LCK between Gen.G and Dragon X. Here we go. To begin with, once again, let's analyze the game state for both teams. At 23 minutes and 30 seconds, Gen.G has a 600 gold lead, 3 dragons and 5 more kills. Dragon X is only a few hundred gold behind despite giving up kills and dragons. Both teams will want to contest for the upcoming Ocean Drake as Gen.G will get the Dragon Soul if they manage to secure it. So it is important for Gen.G and Dragon X to set up proper vision around this objective before it spawns. And so the question that I want to ask is, how far in advance do teams have to set up vision for neutral objectives? Well, it depends. For the first 2 drakes, teams can get away with setting up vision as late as 30 seconds before it spawns. But for the Dragon Soul, or the Elder Drake, or a Baron, vision should already be placed as early as 2 minutes before the objective spawns. Then at the 1 minute and 30 second mark, all players should recall and restock on control wards. So for the remainder of the minute that is left after arriving from the base, players can position themselves around the river and they can place additional wards over the ones that were taken down. A lot of players are hesitant of recalling so soon for the objective because they may lose out on minion waves or get their turrets pushed out, which is understandable, but for an important objective such as the Dragon Soul, a few minions or a turret is a small price to pay for the salvation 4 dragon stacks provides. And you might think our fellow Korean teams here would understand the importance of the Dragon Soul. But I'm afraid to tell you that that is not the case at all. Both Gen.G and Dragon X decide to not prioritize vision around the dragon, and they just approach this objective as if it was the first or second Drake level of importance. What bothers me more is that Gen.G are not even attempting to group around the dragon to zone Dragon X out of the objective. Galio and Rumble are just waiting for the right moment to teleport into the river, but that is the wrong call in so many ways. I mean, this is your Dragon Soul, even more so the Ocean one. Why are they not grouping around the pit and deterring DRX from getting vision? You have to be the one to be at the objective first. But this doesn't happen. Dragon X group up quicker and they start clearing out every last bit of vision Gen.G casually placed around the river. It would have been totally okay if Dragon X just patiently waited it out and zoned Gen.G out from accessing the river, since Gen.G would have 0 vision at that point. The ocean element also makes vision more important since the additional bushes make it harder for teams to play around the dragon pit. But instead of playing around the river bushes and zoning Genji from the dragon, they boneheadedly engage onto a Jarvan that has flash, who re-engages onto Dragon X and locks them down in a choke point. Then, Rumble ult and Galio ult fly down from the sky to end Dragon X's hopes of ever contesting for the Ocean Drake's soul. The one team composition you do not want to fight in choke points is Rumble, J4, Galio. You want to fight in the open to avoid multiple members from getting hit by their large AoE abilities. And just the whole way they approached that teamfight was so bizarre. Pantheon going so deep without real support from his team, and Volibear re-engaging after the fight was already lost. Everything was just so disappointing to watch from there. If you're curious what happened after that, Genji went on to win the game thanks to their better scaling and the Dragon Soul. So we observed 3 games from 3 different regions, and what can we conclude from their games? From the G2 vs Misfit one, I would say that G2 had good vision control despite being behind, and they had the right idea in their minds but failed to execute it when they needed to. From the TSM vs Cloud9 one, it seemed like there was such a big gap in the vision game between the two teams. On one side, Cloud9 looked as if they were in total control of the game thanks to the vision they were able to set up. On the other hand, TSM had to play from behind, but unlike G2, they were completely lost and uncoordinated. They didn't even know what to prioritize, what to give up on, where to set up wards, etc. Literally felt like a Clash team facing a bunch of solo queue players. And on the last game, I felt that both Genji and Dragon X didn't understand the importance of the Dragon Soul. They didn't try to prepare vision properly at all. You can't be so lax around an objective that requires much love and attention. You need to prepare for it properly even if it costs you personal experience or gold. And because of that, I felt like these two teams aren't ready to represent Korea on the international stage. So that was that. Thanks for watching. If you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe as I will keep uploading more videos like this. My next video will touch on late game vision control, so stay tuned for that.